always just all right. Cool. Have no idea why all of a sudden my signal wants it's always low on my laptop, and it doesn't matter the room I'm in, but it's okay. It's okay. So hi, this is Iadania, and I wanted to do this the other day, and I got busy or things, you know, life was lifing, life was doing the life thing. But I woke up a couple of mornings ago with love on my mind. I was like, yeah, okay, we like love. We loves the love. We loves the love. So I said I wanted to talk about love. Um, and I think one of the things that triggered it was one of my clients. So somebody um booked a divination session, and actually even Saturday the same thing. Like there's always a question about love, and when am I going to have love? When am I going to find love? Yada yada yada. And I remember feeling that way. I remember like, when am I going to have love? When am I going to find love? And I wanted to talk about that, especially as a Black woman. Um, Not that it's not in the same way as other women, but I I can only talk about it from my perspective. So I want to do a little stories and allegories and things like that about love. And one of the questions the day that I was originally going to do this that came up is, if no one told you what love should feel like, if no one told you how love should express in your life, how it should manifest, what it should look like, what does it mean? How do you know when someone loves you? Would you know what love is still? Would you have be able to have your own interpretation of love and how love should look, how love should feel, how love should express? There are all these dating coaches and things like that. They'll say, and they will tell you, if this person doesn't do dot dot dot, they don't love you. If they don't post you on social media, they don't love you. If they don't do dot dot dot, they don't love you. And I challenge you to see if you can discern, think, and feel for yourself. If you remove all of these things out of the equation and it is simply just you and this person, do you know for you what love should look like? When people come to me for love readings, I tell them first and foremost, I'm not reading the other person. I'm not going to tell you anything about the other person because they're not here. Now, if you come as a couple, and both of y'all are ready, then by all means, let's go. We will do divination for the both of you. But I won't read the other person. I could see how you energetically align, but not how they align to you, because those two journeys may actually be completely different. Um, but what I prefer to do is to see, where do you show up? How do you show up in love? And that was such a huge thing for me to do for myself, is to it's one of the first tarot spreads I ever wrote from, was how do I show up in love? How do I, what are my strengths? What are my opportunities? Where do I give my power away? Where do I stand in my power? How do I show up in a loving and nurturing way? How do I show up in a sensual way? And how do I honor myself and how do I dishonor myself? Those are the things that I looked at, and it was amazing, and it has been, because I will do that spread still to this day, to see how am I showing up in love. How do I show up in love? What am I doing? How am I expressing? How is it manifesting? How do I actually show up in love? And the way that I perceive myself being in relationships. And so I look back over the years, and one thing I always say jokingly is that I am, in the very large part, I express love by and large very much how I did when I was younger. And it's funny because how many people used to tell me I had an old soul and things like that. And given the age of my soul, that's accurate. But when I look at things I do now today that I did when I was younger, so one thing is almost everyone, man or woman, everyone I have ever dated, music. Music has always been, I am like, I used to be a sucker for a singer. Oh my God. If you could sing for me, what? That's it. Like you in there. If you played me a song, if you could sing for me and or play a song for me that's 12 on the clock, um, that would tell me how you felt about me. Man, but if you sang that joint, sheesh, I have liked, dated, talked to so many singers, like oh my gosh, it was just like you sang. Oh, that's it. That's that you in there. That's it. That's all I need. You sing. Shh. But I also did the same thing to them. So almost everyone, especially my youth, you want to spit game? I sang to them. Sang to them. So I sang to everybody. Everybody's gonna get these vocals. Sang to everybody, everyone. I tried not to sing the same song to everybody. I tried to at least differentiate, like certain songs, even now, certain songs remind me of certain people, even though we don't talk like that anymore. Certain songs, if I hear it, I'm like, yeah. Like I dated an adult film star and I used to sing Tamia to him. And so he hit me up. I mean, we did it when I was 19, so that's how long it's been. And a few years ago, he hit me up. He's like, I just heard that song and immediately thought of you and cried. And I was just like, show you right. You're supposed to. You're supposed to feel that way. You're supposed to get emotional. You heard a song that I sang to you, and 20 plus years later, you still feel a way about it. You're supposed to. You're absolutely supposed to. And I promise I did not say I did not say anything over this person to make him feel that way. That was just what it was. Cooking, like, and cooking was not exclusive to people I dated. If I cared about you in any way as a friend, as a lover, or anything like that, I cooked for you. I cooked for you. And if I didn't, oops, my bad. My bad. But like the really, really close ones, oh man, high school sweetheart told me how he liked his sandwiches. And so I learned to make them in that way because I didn't eat school lunch. I took lunch to school. So I'd be up in the morning making me and him sandwiches. And he's the reason why I eat chips on my sandwich today because I had never heard of such a thing. He's like, I want chips on my sandwich. I'm like, weirdo, but whatever. And so one day I made my sandwich like his, and I'm like, oh, this joint is delicious food. So, they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but I fed everybody. People would come to my house and eat, and that would just be my thing. I would just food. I would like, and so as I learn now, words of affirmation, acts of service, those are ways that I express love. Acts of service make so much sense to me. When you look at Venus in your birth chart, Venus is your love language. And my Venus sits in my sixth house. And in your birth chart, your sixth house is your day to day life, but it's also service. It's how you are a service to others. So part of how I serve is through my heart. I express love through service. I like doing that. So even now, today, like as recent as yesterday, well, I cooked Sunday, but the person wasn't home. And so I, sent a picture like, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. What are you doing? And I said, I don't know why I'm cooking all this food, knowing my children are not going to eat it all. And he says, save me some food. And I said, say less. And so made a plate. And the irony was I made that plate first. Like I didn't make my food first. I made their plate first, and then put that to the side, and then made my plate. And I'm like, and I sent the text. I'm like, you must know that I care because you ain't even in town, and I made your food first. So I look over my life and I look at how I express love, and it's very much like I've always been a hopeful romantic. I used to say hopeless, and then I was like, well, then I don't have no hope, and I don't want to manifest that. So I am a hopeful romantic. Things that I learned about love just from allowing is no one. I don't experience love in 100% the same way. There are some things that are consistent in the people that I love. One, there is a measure of intelligence. If I could say that I had actual love for you, there is a measure of intelligence, like challenging me, teaching me. There's a level of intellect that I find alluring in everyone that I have ever felt love for. Everyone. Everyone I've ever felt love for, man or woman, had a measure of intelligence. They may have had it like at least two people was math because regular math, numerology, cool, I got that. Anything else? No, no, no. And so I was in the two longest relationships I was ever been in. Both of them were borderline mathematicians, like human calculators. And but things like that, just little new intelligence, a love of music. Like I have never been able to stay with someone who didn't love, like really love music. Because we got to be able to sit and vibe to music. Like we got to be able to have a day where we sit and that's all we do. We don't have to talk. We just DJ to each other, playing music. Like that's the best thing to me. And I look at my life and I'm saying, okay, these are the things that are consistent in love. And what I see is that the universe, God, the divine, has always known certain things about what I desired in a partner. And thus, those things have been consistent in almost every partner I've ever had. So, one of the things I did later in my spiritual journey when trying to like actually actively manifest with intention someone was look at what is common. What are the common traits? So, intelligence, a love of music. There's something creative. They have some sort of creativity. So, whether they sing, they do art or something like that, they cook, there's some sort of creation energy around them. Um, why is that important for me? Well, because in my numerology birth chart, my soul urge, my heart's desire is around creativity. So it would behoove me to love and be attracted to someone who also have a creative spark in them. And so I looked at everything that good because regardless of whether a relationship lasted years or ended a few months, there was something they had that was in alignment to my divine counterpart. And so I looked for those things and I made a list. Like these are all the things and these are the things that I enjoy and I love and I'm grateful for. And I really gave energy to focusing on those things. A lot of times when I listen to people talk about love and relationships and things like that, they are focused on the negative. Oh my God, I don't like this, blah, 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 blah. And it's not that you shouldn't be aware what you dislike. You just shouldn't focus completely on what you dislike. You should be able to say, okay, you know what I don't like? Ugly feet. Like this just I'm just putting like I put it out there like I didn't know this was a thing, Lord, and but apparently it is. I need pretty feet. That's a thing. I need to be able to look at your toes and be okay with them. Can you do that with me, Lord? Can you? Um things that are not 100% deal breakers, but were like, hey, Lord, 6'12" would be nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tall would be tall. Like tall would be really great for me. Why? Because I have a Napoleon complex and I think that I'm tall. So therefore, they have to match my energy. I think I'm 6 feet tall. So they have to be at least be 6 feet tall because that's how tall I think that I am. But being able to say, hey, this is what I like and this is what I dislike, and being able to have those conversations with yourself. Also, being able to know what it is your soul chose by way of love. See, sometimes we're just trying to manifest stuff because it sounds good. Oh, I want the big house and the big car, and I want this, that, and the other thing. And your soul is like, no, I want a rustic partner. I want a partner who's rustic, and you're trying to manifest city life and your husband is country, and you're like wondering why you can't meet him because you're not in alignment. You're not currently in alignment. It's not that anybody's keeping him away from you but you. And that's the other thing, is learning how often we are the ones pushing away our love experience. Notice I didn't say our spouse, our partner. I said our love experience, because love is supposed to be experienced. Love is not solely about a title. And that's not the that's a bonus. That's a bonus. The prize is love. The title is a bonus. The prize is love. And being able to disconnect from, if this person doesn't end up being dot dot dot, then this was a wrong. No, the journey is about experiencing love. At some point, if it is aligned to you, if you are in alignment with having a spouse, then of course you will have a spouse. But in the journey to your spouse, you may love multiple times, multiple people in multiple ways, because in that journey, you are building momentum and you're cultivating energy around love. You're cultivating energy around love. And the more I learned that, it became easier for me to just accept that sometimes things just don't work out. My ex husband is a really good example of that. If you ask me today, do I love him? Would I be with him again? Mm-mm. That's not a dig at him. This is an awareness of me. I know where I am in my journey, where I am in my life. And part of the reason I am where I am is because of the transformation that I underwent when he and I were together. He was a catalyst. He was a part of the journey. He was a part of the plan to help me, to help facilitate change and things in my life where I had no choice but to move and change and transform. I don't know that had he and I not come together, and I mean, kids notwithstanding, just he and I in general, our dynamic, if it had not been what it was, if I would have undergone the transformation I needed to go to. I needed to be able to stand in my truth about what I wanted and what I didn't want. And that's also my accountability. That's me saying, hey, I did not articulate what I wanted. And like when I see a post that says, well, they should know I am a whole freaking psychic. Let me just say that. Whole psychic medium. I'm not gonna sit around reading my partner when they got a mouth. Like, tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me what makes you feel good, what makes you feel nourished, what makes you feel upheld, what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel protected, what makes you feel good. Tell me what you need so that I can, one, know, am I able to fulfill those needs? And two, how? What and how? Like, can I do it? Am I capable of fulfilling this need? And if so, what is the best way to do so? There's a multitude of ways. What is the best way to fulfill the need so that you feel like the need was fulfilled? I could be thinking I'm doing dot dot dot, and what you need is did. And because you didn't communicate, we didn't communicate to each other. I can't, you know, I'm not accurately fulfilling the need. Communication is a must. I don't understand why people feel like they shouldn't have to. Yes, Yes, your dude shouldn't have to read your mind. He should not have to read your mind, nor should you have to read his. Both of you have mouths. So unless you're just simply operating from a space of telepathy, you should communicate. I don't care if it's audible, written, you should be able to communicate and say, this is what I need. Some of y'all don't get what you want because you won't say, well, he should know. First off, it's unethical for a psychic to just sit around reading you all day. I'm not reading it. I'm not reading you. I'm just not. If you don't ask me to read you, I'm not reading you. And that's just as simple as that. I'm not reading you. Will I pick up and perceive certain things because I have a strong intuition? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, you better communicate. You absolutely better communicate. I'm not gonna spend my whole relationship stretching if I don't have to. You know how doing a reading is weightlifting. I'm not lifting weights. You better tell me what you want. You better tell. You best to tell me what you want so that I know what to give you. What do you desire? What you desire desires you. But if you don't open your mouth and say, you're not going to receive it. So I had to learn that because social media will have you around here like, don't tell, shouldn't have to tell them. You shouldn't have, what? No, y'all sound dumb. Respectfully. Dumb. Dumb. That doesn't make sense. You go to a restaurant and tell them what you want. You don't expect them to come and do. Oh, you want such and such a thing. No, you tell them. They ask you, you tell them. This is how it works in relationship. You tell them what you want. This is how it works when you're manifesting. You're sitting around, I just want a partner. Okay, so then you get one and the partner isn't right and you don't know why. It's because you didn't say what you wanted. You was real generic. I'm going to need you to say it with your whole chest. What is it that you desire? Because if you could think it in totality, you should be able to say it in totality. And if you're not sure, then just allow yourself to say, okay, in this experience, I loved this. I didn't love that. Cool. I'm manifesting more of this and no more of that. And you focus on the this. You give momentum to more this. And then the next person will have all of those things and plus some more stuff. And then you can decide, okay, do I like all that? No, I like, but they added some things to the list. That's why it's a love journey. It's a love experience. It's a verb, it's action. The idea that every single person you meet is supposed to be your spouse is a fallacy. You are on a journey of love. And when it is time for you to have a spouse, you will have one. But to shut yourself off, that's not my spouse, I can't date them, then you are stunting your growth and possibly theirs. But you are most assuredly stunting your spiritual growth because love is the ultimate expression of your spiritual journey. Love. Love is the ultimate expression of your spiritual journey. So when you are doing the work and allowing yourself to flow through love and flow in that way, then you have to understand that you're not going to meet forever in every person, but you may meet love. You may meet love. And I had to learn, I had to just let that be what it was. I had to let it be I just had to let it be. And sometimes you feel like, you end up with a divorce or something, you feel like a failure. Because trust me, I was early in my spiritual journey and that's what I felt like. Our journey played out the way that it was supposed to. Our journey manifested in the way that it was supposed to. And I'm not upset with that. So I say be open to love. The other aspect of my love journey has truly been about how I resonate with, quote, traditional dynamics and things like that. So let me just say a few things. My current, I need to stop that. My current partner, significant other, has never once asked me to submit. And in a relationship sense, let me qualify that in that way. And I think that's important because he has never asked me to relinquish my power. He has never asked me to walk behind him. He has never asked me to be less than. In fact, he's only ever asked me to be greater. And that's important. Like the notion that I should just, you make a decision and I just fall in line is just not ever going to resonate. We need to talk about it. If we're together for a relationship, we're doing this thing together, but all me, like, hey, I've got an idea. I was thinking dot dot dot. What do you think? And the idea that that should not happen. The idea that son opened my door. The idea that I should relinquish any consent, any input, that you should be able to make decisions that affect my life and the livelihood of our household. And I'm just like, do 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 do. Hey, all right, Stepford, like, I'll just no, no. Why? Because I'm a whole freaking grown up, and I have my own thoughts, feelings, and ideas, and I should have some say. I should have some consent in what is going to happen in my life. And this is not a besmirchment on him. It is an honoring of me. And I think the notion that, you know, I got to be anything less than who I am. It's the notion that women aren't leaders in their own right. And so when you have two people that are true leaders, both leaders know how to follow. A true leader knows how to follow. This doesn't only just apply to women. This doesn't just apply to, this applies to men. This applies to anyone. This applies, period. If you are a true leader, you also know how to follow. You know how to collaborate. You know how to partner. So thus, if I'm with someone, there's just no day on any day of the week they're going to make a decision over my life and I say nothing. Like never a day. And what I love about my current partner is that that has never been that's not an expectation. That they are regularly speaking power into me, not just life, not just love, not just joy, power. Speaking absolute power and regularly telling me to never doubt myself, don't play small. And I'm just like, bruh, okay. I also don't want him to play small. See, it's the misinformation, the misunderstanding, the misdescribing of feminine and masculine. It is the colonized perception of what that needs to look like. See, I'm not ever going to have a relationship with someone that wants to be massive. It's just not gonna happen. You so busy trying to look like the man in the plantation house who had everybody, under their heel, who had everybody following to the beat of their drum. No, no. See, if we're together in relationship, we are an orchestra. We are a symphony. And thus we are synchronistically playing music. We are going through the ebb and flow of the tones together to make harmonious sounds. There's no way, no, no. We are both the conductor of the song that is our relationship. And the notion that I couldn't be that, like I purposely didn't join a specific tradition because it said I can't do something because I'm a woman. I would never, ever, ever take and say, I'm going to give my life to someone who wants me to be smaller than I am. And I would not want to be with someone who wants to be smaller than he is. The notion that the only thing that they are good for, my Black men, I need you to stop summing up your existence and how you are equating it to how much money you have, equating it to your ability to provide security, equating it to your ability. No, you are so much more than that. And I really, 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 it behooves you to learn that. I purposely say,
Mommy,
yeah,
we have some dogs.
we'll go get some in a few minutes. Go sit down. Um, Apparently I need to go get lunch. But the notion that I said, I don't desire simply a man. I desire a God. And I meant that. Like, he can't simply walk around spouting things that men say that they're supposed to be. I need him to be a God and know who he is without their input. See, a God is aware of themselves in totality and has no desire to limit themselves to what society says they're supposed to be. They are God. They are everything they are meant to be and more. I absolutely want him to be strong, driven, um, have goals and dreams and all these things. But I also need him to be able to receive. I need him to be able to receive as much as I'm able to receive so we can be doing this with each other, exchanging energy. We need to be able to exchange energy back and forth. That means both of us have to be able to give and receive. The notion that feminine energy is not protective is, again, a colonized lens. Feminine energy, like, ain't nobody saying, nobody's like, hey, don't be afraid, be afraid of Papa Bear. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. They say, be mindful of Mama Bear. That's what they say. So the idea that feminine energy is not strong, it is exceptionally strong. It creates life. It is powerful. It is exceptionally strong. It is exceptionally protective. And it is limitless and boundless. That way, is always ever present. As associating these things simply with the idea of masculinity is a fallacy. Both energies present, they just simply present in different ways, and thus it manifests in the individual in different ways. I love that me being successful will never qualify his ability to stand in my life. It's like this notion that, oh my God, because I'm successful, because I'm a successful business owner, because I make my own money, that he has nothing, he has plenty to offer me. He ain't playing just one note. He himself in his own right is his own orchestra. He is a band unto himself. He has plenty to offer me. But as long as y'all continue to limit yourselves to what you can do, Jaheem, financially, you will only ever get someone that can only see you as a check. Sit down. Sit down. You will only ever be a check. If that's all you see yourself as, that's all you ever gonna be. If you can't perceive yourself to be bigger than that, you will never be seen as bigger than that. Stop limiting yourself. If no one gave you colonized ideologies of what you should be as a man, who would you be? If no one told you as a man, who would you be? Women, soft is nothing, is not feminine. I just need you to understand that. A lot of y'all keep saying, I'm in my soft girl era and I'm in my feminine. There is no day on any day of the week that feminine energy is soft. It is malleable. Mm-hmm. It is fluid. But soft? Oh no. Oh no. It's not hard either. It's everything. I need you to stop limiting yourselves. Your ability to be soft is probably a human concept of womanliness, but it ain't feminine energy. Feminine energy is not soft.
Where's my food snacks?
I will give them to you when we get ready to go get your McDonald's.
Is your food snacks gone?
No, it's in the kitchen. So knowing that I'm not, no, the fact that you're in an era where you want self-care, that's not soft. That's an act of defiance. In this day and age, you're in an act of defiance. That is not soft. Mm-mm, mm-mm. The fact that you want to be open to receive is absolutely feminine. Doesn't make you soft though. It doesn't make you soft. Again, as women, we have to stop limiting how we describe ourselves and trying to make ourselves small when we are meant to be cosmic. And when we are meant to be cosmic, Um, I just I'm glad that I let myself go on a journey where self-love was became a part of my life. You see these flowers right here? Those right there? Those? Yeah. I bought them. And you're probably like, what? Don't you have a yes? But I also love myself. And so I bought them. And what I love is the fact that I have bought myself flowers in a way to where it's a way that I honor myself. I buy myself flowers. I do nice things for myself so that the universe knows these are things that I like. I cook for myself. I cook for him, and he cooks for me. It's reciprocal. We both are open to receive. And I said that to him. I need you to let me love you. Verb. And he received the feedback. He received the feedback. He didn't feel like I was being hard or disrespectful. He was just like, oh, okay. And receive the feedback. And you have to be open to feedback, even if it's harsh. Like that's like real talk. You have to be open to feedback, even if it's harsh. Even if it's harsh. In the moment sometimes, and we should not operate in this way, but understanding that sometimes you are going to get feedback and you ain't gonna like it. And it's not gonna come to you in a way that you're gonna like. But it does not immediately mean that your partner is trying to disrespect you. If y'all are in a heated situation, sometimes people are just mad. And the fact that you can't give somebody some grace, walk away from the situation and realize they were mad in the moment. Now, if they have a habit, that's different. They have a habit. But then again, if you haven't communicated and addressed how do you want to be communicated with, then whose fault is it really? See, sometimes, again, you want this person to know ain't nobody supposed to be reading your mind. That's rude. If you don't ask for a reading, they shouldn't be reading it, which means you got to open your mouth. That means you got to open your mouth and say it with your chest. What do you want? What do you want? And the notion that she can't give you feedback that somebody else can, or he can't give you feedback that somebody else can, simply because of their gender makes you leading into your ego. It's an ego thing. And I suggest you check yourself. The feedback is the feedback, period. It's the feedback, period. Now, there's some things, there's some unique situations where that might not be the case. But when it comes to your partner, because she said it is disrespectful, but it's not disrespectful when it's from him or vice versa. But again, y'all don't communicate and y'all don't tell each other what you want. You don't even tell spirit what you want. You say, I want a husband. Oh my God, would you please send me a husband? Ask for love. The husband's a bonus. Ask for love. And what that love needs to feel like. How do you want to experience love? How you want love to manifest? How do you want to feel when you're in the space of love? And if you can't describe it without using something you heard somebody else say, I would sit and ask, do you even know what love means to yourself? Because I had to do that. The way the love and relationship looks for me, if I posted it, if I shared it, that person couldn't possibly, yes, he does, in a way that I can't even put into words, loves me. Loves me so strongly that it comes up in divination, like, yo, don't like, don't, loyal. You stay loyal to this one right here. And I don't mean at divining over love. It just comes up like, hey, FYI, on a side note, that one right there, yeah. Whether they end up being my spouse or not, they just, in the moment right now, spirit is like, I got the thumbs up. And I'm just like, hey, I'm good with that. I'm totally okay with that. And it's ours. It's completely ours. And that's probably the most beautiful thing about it. It does not look like anyone else's. It just simply looks like ours. If I told you the whole story, oh my God, you'd be like, why would you, what? You'd be so confused. But then you would see like my smile and how I can't think his name without a grin coming across my face. You would see this card sitting on my altar when I was at a really low point, and the front of the card says, "You are powerful and resilient, and nothing you go through will change that." And the inside says, "You are so important to many people's lives, including mine." Understand, you have to be able to define love for yourself. I can't define love based on anyone else. I have to define it for me and what it feels like and how I want to experience it. And honestly, that is spiritual work. It's spiritual work because I regularly have to check in with ego and with my higher self and discern who's giving what. I have to do that. I have to do that work to separate from ego sometimes because ego will be like, well, and my higher self will be like, come on, man. So I have to know the difference. And sometimes you have to be able to do the same thing. You have to be able to do the work. But I also have doing the work to get to know myself. Like I can see not simply my current but person I'm seeing, but like other people I've loved, I see them in my birth chart and why I fell in love with them. I see what traits in my birth chart that said this is what your love needs to look like and what traits they had and how that manifested. So, yeah, the journey continues. Love is a part of life, and thus it's a part of your spiritual walk. So, I encourage you to take some time, see what love is supposed to look like for you. Birth charts are free online. Go look. Go look at your Venus. Y'all be so steady talking about, I don't want to date such and such a sign. That's not even the part of their personality that's bothering you. Go look at your Venus. Go look at your moon. Go look at your sun, your rising, and your descendant, and your Juno. And look and see what story your soul wrote for love. And then look at your life and the people that you loved. You could even look at your numerology chart, look at your life path numbers, look at your soul urge numbers and your destiny and see how those lined up. Are those numbers harmonious or they're not? You'll be surprised what you find and what you learn about yourself and love, and then take it from there. No, no, no leaving it up to only the title, but let the experience be what it is. It's not that you don't shouldn't ask for a spouse or a partner. I want a spouse. I want to be married again. I really do. Like I'm totally going to do some things to manifest that. But I just at this point, I'm happy with love. I'm happy with love. And if the love has longevity, the spouse thing will come. If it ends up where it's either way, the spouse is going to come. Either way, I already know I'm going to get married again. So that's all I wanted to share. I just felt like talking about love, love, oh, love. And I hope that y'all have a beautiful day. I gotta go get my children some lunch because they done asked me twice for fruit snacks. First McDonald's and then fruit snacks. So I guess we need to go make a lunch run. Ashe, take care. Bye.
May I be McDonald's, please?
Okay.
Red rice is white.
Okay.
Wake up. Backing up.
I'm confident I did.